Hey YouTube, this is Michelle here again. I am back. The past 2 months has been really busy, so I hadn't had time to film, but throughout the course of the past 2 months, I took my NCLEX, I passed, I told you guys I started working, so that was just very busy. But today's video is about how to pass the NCLEX with 75 questions. How I did it, how I recommend it. Yeah, so let's get into it. It took me about 1 month to study for the NCLEX. I sat for my boards on July 12th. No, on July 10th. My birthday was on July 12th, so I wanted to, know before my birthday and, so I can celebrate and be happy and peace. But yeah, so I started studying the first week of June. My hospital paid for us to take the free Kaplan course, so I did that for the first 2 weeks, and you guys, Kaplan was not for me. I did the in-class, 1 week in-class session. I went, I learned the decision tree, how to weed through the questions, the Kaplan method. It all sounded interesting to me, but when I sat down to do the questions, I wasn't able to apply those techniques to those questions, and I'm like, this isn't working for me. So I did Kaplan for 2 weeks, and honestly, it was not working. My friend recommended UWorld. I was like, UWorld, but I have Kaplan for free. Anywho, I ended up getting UWorld. I paid $80 for 1 month, and I did that up until I took my test. And you guys, I am here to say that UWorld changed my life. Comparing UWorld to Kaplan, UWorld is amazing. I owe everything to God and to UWorld. And comparing Kaplan to UWorld, I did a lot of questions in Kaplan. The first readiness exam, I got a 65, I believe. No, I got a 63, and 63%. And in Kaplan, that's okay, you're in the right spot. 63 is good. You just got to do more questions. And so I got that. I did questions on Kaplan. I tried to apply the decision tree. None of that was working. I was just so frustrated. I ended up just doing the Kaplan videos, trying to know more content. That was not working. So I just quit Kaplan altogether. Got UWorld. So UWorld had 275 question assessments, and then it had the 2,000 plus question, the 2,000 question Q&A questions. So I took my first test before I started UWorld, just to see where my baseline is, so I can compare my progress with that program. So the first test I took, I got a 65%, and UWorld said I was in the 80th percentile. My likelihood of passing the NCLEX is really high. It gave me some confidence, for doing it, so I felt really good. So UWorld is broken down into the adult section, leadership, psych, maternity, peds, and community stuff. So I first did the adults section. I did the adults questions. I broke those down in a system. I did cardiac, respiratory, GI, GU, musculoskeletal, reproductive, cancer, immunity. I broke those down in those sections, and I think those really helped me. Doing that really helped me in my progress on UWorld. I also then did a lot of the leadership questions, and those were more of the delegation questions, what would a UAP do, what would an LPN do, what would a new grad RN do, questions like that, which I recommend doing those, because UWorld's way of explaining the material to you is so much better. UWorld does an amazing job, a phenomenal job of explaining the content. When you get a question wrong, UWorld tells you, the rationales it gives you is just, amazing compared to Kaplan. UWorld tells you why you got this question right, why this one is wrong, why C is wrong, and why D is wrong. why A is correct. Like it gives like a, I love you world. They're not sponsoring me at all. Like, I mean, I believe in this program so much because it's just amazing. But yeah. For example, you answer a question on like pulmonary embolism. Like 5 questions later, you get a similar question of pulmonary embolism, but the rationale it gave you applies to both questions, so you retain that information more, if that makes sense. Like throughout the course of the questions, as you're doing the questions, you're seeing the same material over and over again, but in different forms, so that so it helps you retain that information better. And I think that's one thing UWorld just does phenomenally compared to Kaplan. Like with Kaplan, like it didn't really tell me why I got certain questions wrong, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So yeah, UWorld was very helpful. It just really broke everything down for me. It had like graphs that showed you where your progress was, and I'm gonna insert all those graphs on here just so you guys can see like what I'm talking about. I did UWorld for like 3 weeks prior to me taking my test. I would come home from work and do like 150 questions a day, 200 questions a day. Like I was going crazy. I made sure that I did almost all those questions. Out of like the 1,900 and something questions, I did like 1,800 of it. The rest were like psych, and I feel like I was confident in my psych content, so I didn't feel like doing any of those. So I did like majority of the test questions, and I will recommend, I'm pleading that you guys go through all the questions on UWorld, because I mean I did see similar questions on the NCLEX, and I don't know how I'd have passed if it wasn't for UWorld. But yeah, UWorld questions are just spot on. They are just like the NCLEX. The setting, like the UWorld background, looks just like the NCLEX, which helped with my confidence while I was doing the test. I was more comfortable, I was relaxed, because like my mind was used to doing questions like those. So a week before I took my test, I took the second portion of the assessment test, the other 75 question test, and I got the exact same score. I got 65% again, but this time around UWorld said that I was in like the 85th percentile, and I'm like, what? You said that was the 80th percentile last time. Like, I don't get it. But I mean, it said 85th percentile this time around. My likelihood of passing is very high, which reassured my confidence. So a week after that, I sat for my boards. I went in there prepared. You know, I talked myself through the entire test. I told myself that I knew the answers. I've been practicing for a month. I've been practicing almost over a month for this, and I'm prepared. And you know, God, I just prayed. I was like, God, like, I know everything I need to know. Just please let me pass the test. And that's exactly what I did. I prayed, went into the building, took my test, got out in like 2 hours with like knowing, being 100% confident that I passed. So I would recommend UWorld for anybody who is currently studying for the NCLEX. Thank you guys for watching once again. Please like my video. Subscribe to me because I have more content coming. Recommend videos, request stuff. I am not free, but I have more time now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.